A meeting gets canceled and your entire afternoon needs to move. Instead of opening 5 apps, you give one instruction. Fix my schedule, protect 2 hours for focused work, prepare a 1-page briefing for tomorrow's client meeting, and tell everyone affected, but ask before sending anything. The agent checks your calendar, task lists, messages, and approved documents. It proposes a plan, makes the reversible changes, pauses before contacting anyone, and shows you every step. The apps are still there. You just never touch them. That leaves a bigger question. If AI operates your apps for you, do those apps effectively disappear? Agents probably will not destroy the app economy, but they may make you stop noticing that many apps exist. A chatbot can draft a message asking to move a meeting. An agent can inspect the relevant calendars, identify possible times, draft the message, wait for approval, send it, and update the event after everyone agrees. Not every product described as an agent can perform that sequence reliably. Agent has become a broad label. The useful test is simple. Does the system merely tell you what to do, or can it take bounded actions toward the result? That difference matters because today you are often the integration layer between disconnected apps. Preparing for an appointment might require checking the address, comparing routes, calculating when to leave, moving another commitment, and notifying someone if the timing no longer works. None of those steps is especially difficult. The friction comes from carrying context between separate systems and making all the little decisions that connect them. Your objective does not care about software containers. You think, help me arrive prepared and on time. Your software gives you a calendar, a map, messages, documents, and a workflow you must assemble yourself. Agents are trying to fill a coordination gap between pieces of software that already exist. But coordinating 5 apps is the easy part. The harder test begins when the agent can spend money, contact people, or expose private information. An agent's usefulness and its danger come from the same property it can act. To act usefully, it needs 4 things: context, a plan, tools, and checks. Without context, it guesses. It needs the relevant information, preferences, constraints, and permissions, including which sources it may use. Without a plan, it only suggests. It must turn an outcome into smaller steps and recognize that reserving private focus time is less consequential than contacting another person. Without tools, it cannot act. It needs controlled access to calendars, documents, browsers, internal systems, or other services. Without checks, mistakes scale instantly. It must verify results, expose uncertainty, preserve an audit trail, request approval at the right moments, and make reversible actions easy to undo. There is a precise point where an assistant stops being merely convenient and starts requiring trust. It appears halfway up the autonomy ladder. Level 1 is retrieval. You ask, when did I agree to review the proposal? The system searches only the sources you authorized and returns the relevant passage with a link. Level 2 is transformation. You ask it to create a review checklist from that agreement and the proposal's current contents. It produces something new while separating sourced information from its own inferences. Level 3 is the threshold, a reversible action. You ask it to place a tentative review block on your calendar. The agent now changes a system instead of merely describing a change. It should show the chosen time, explain which constraints it used, and let you undo the decision easily.
Level 4 crosses a human boundary. You ask it to coordinate the review with a colleague. Tone, timing, authority, and social context now matter. The safer default is often to prepare the message and wait for approval before sending it.
Level 5 is a multi-step workflow. You say, prepare me for the review, resolve scheduling conflicts, create the checklist, collect the approved reference material, and show me the 3 decisions that still require my judgment. At this level, the agent must decide what it can safely complete, what it should stage for approval, and what belongs entirely to you. That makes it more than a faster chat box. It also makes trust essential. Now raise the stakes. What happens when the same system moves from your calendar to your wallet? If something in your home stops working, an agent might help document the symptoms, locate the relevant manual, check coverage information you provide, assemble questions, and offer appointment options. But it should not approve a repair beyond your spending limit simply because a service provider recommends it. Inside a company, the same agent might summarize an approved project folder, identify unresolved decisions, update a draft status document, and prepare follow-ups. But it should inherit the user's existing access limits, not receive the keys to the entire organization. The principle is the same in both cases. Automate the administrative work, keep consequential decisions visible, and pause when an action crosses a boundary involving money, privacy, authority, or another person. This shift could also change which businesses hold influence. If people reach services through agents, the visible interface may matter less for routine actions. Reliability, structured access, narrow permissions, and clear confirmation flows may matter more. Direct interfaces will still be important for creative tools, games, visual exploration, and complex or high-stakes professional work. Repetitive coordination is the more credible early target because its steps can be defined, permissioned, checked, and reversed. And if agents become the front door to every service, someone gets to decide which doors they show you first. Imagine asking an agent to book a repair. It selects a more expensive provider, not because that option best matches your preferences, but because the provider has preferred technical access or a commercial relationship with the company operating the agent. The agent should disclose that influence before you approve the booking. If it recommends one option, you need to know whether the choice reflects your stated priorities, a technical limitation, a commercial relationship, or an uncertain guess. Otherwise, convenience can quietly become manipulation. The new gatekeepers may be the systems that interpret your intent, control access to tools, rank available services, and decide when confirmation is required. The critical question becomes, is the agent working for you, for the service provider, or for the company operating the agent? There are more immediate risks too. A chatbot that misunderstands you may produce a bad answer. An agent that misunderstands you may alter a schedule, expose private contexts, send an inappropriate message, or commit resources you never intended to commit. It may also encounter malicious instructions embedded in a web page, document, or message. External content must be treated as untrusted data, not as authority. That requires strict permission boundaries, limited credentials, confirmation for sensitive actions, and logs showing exactly what happened.
Then there is the quieter risk of gradual overdelegation. If an agent handles every inconvenience, you may stop noticing which decisions you have outsourced.
The answer is not zero automation. It is graduated autonomy. Low-risk, reversible actions can happen automatically within rules you set. Socially sensitive or financially meaningful actions can be prepared but paused. Irreversible or high-impact decisions should remain directly controlled by a person. A trustworthy agent should make its context, plan, tools, and checks visible. You should know what information it will use, which systems it can access, what it intends to do, where approval is required, and how completed actions can be reversed. If those answers are hidden, the convenience is not worth much. Now return to the cancel meeting. Your future home screen may still contain a calendar, a map, a task manager, and a messaging service. Those systems will still perform specialized work. What changes is your relationship with them. Instead of navigating each interface, you describe the result, inspect the plan, and approve the moments that matter. The best version of this future is not an invisible AI making every choice. It is a visible chain of delegation. You set the goal, the agent handles coordination, and control returns to you whenever judgment, money, privacy, or another person is involved. So, will AI agents replace your apps? Not in the literal sense, not soon, and possibly not at all. Specialized software, services, databases, and interfaces will remain underneath, but agents could replace the habit of opening many of those apps for routine work. The apps become background machinery, while the agent becomes the layer through which you express intent. That is the practical signal to watch. Ignore demonstrations that show only a perfect result. Look for systems that reveal their plans, cite their inputs, respect narrow permissions, request approval intelligently, disclose incentives, and recover cleanly from failure. The most important question is not whether an agent can click every button for you. It is whether it can earn enough trust to act and remain easy to stop. If you could delegate one repetitive digital workflow today, what would it be? And which single action would you never allow an AI to take without asking? Put both answers in the comments and subscribe for more grounded analysis of how AI is actually changing the way we work.